Welcome, Grizzly fans. In today's Coaches Corner segment, we're going to have a bit of a roundtable discussion here with some of our spring head coaches on some of the things going around from the game and about competing at the highest level. So today we have head coach Chase Hodges from the men's tennis and women's tennis team, head coach Kat Eilenberg from the Grizzly softball team, and head coach Brad Stromdahl from the baseball program. You guys have all had some great success so far this spring. 9-0 for the men's tennis team, 5-1 for the women. Softball has won 6, 7 out of the last 8, I believe. Baseball put together a 10-game winning streak recently. So first topic, guys, just talk about streaks. How do you keep yourselves from getting too high during a win streak like you have going on right now, or too low if you have a couple of setbacks? It might come. Just talk about that a little bit, Coach.
Well, one thing that I stress to both teams is just don't take any team for granted. So we just take it one match at a time, and if you follow that philosophy, I think you can have a lot of success. We never look ahead to any opponents on our schedule. And, I think both teams have done a good job just buying into the system and really not looking ahead. We got another tough match coming up on Thursday, and that's all we're concerned with right now. So definitely want to keep the streak going, and that's the goal.
Yes.
We certainly look at playing pitch by pitch, whether offensively or defensively. You just can't get ahead by a match. You can't get ahead inning by inning. Even if you've scored 3 runs, you have to go out and defend the 3 runs you've scored. If they've gone up by a run, you have to come back and execute on offense. So we break the game down as best we can, pitch by pitch, out by out, so that we're executing as best we can.
Yeah, I follow their lead too. I mean, it's just you don't really even look at it, and all of a sudden you realize that you've won a couple games in a row, and win a couple more games. But you just go about your day-to-day activities the way you would go about whether you're winning, losing. It's indifferent how you go about your business, and hopefully at the end of the day, you can put together a couple of victories.
So it seems to be a big part of that is sort of controlling emotion, using emotion to your advantage. So how do you keep your team sort of at an equilibrium where you can use that emotion to your advantage, but does it ever sometimes backfire, or is it too much?
Well, our guys and both teams play with a lot of emotion. So, it's not one of those things where, we go out there and, let the game come to us. And, especially in a sport like tennis, you're going to have highs and lows, and you really want to be able to balance those. But when we're playing matches, we make sure that, the aggressive nature that we bring to the table is always there. So, I expect us to continue to do that.
So on the diamond, emotion, how do you think it plays in?
I think when you have a great play, you want to translate that offensively, and when there's a big hit, you want to maintain that composure going out defensively. There's nothing better than a pitcher ending an inning with a strikeout looking. It gives your team that momentum that they can't hit her. We're going to go out and try and be aggressive and hit them. But it's certainly, you can't get too high or too low because the umpire zone's not changing. If they struck out looking, you could strike out looking on that same pitch. So you need to be able to control and go in and execute what you're trying to accomplish.
Interesting point, Coach.
No, and I think just like Kat's saying, it's really a game of highs and lows in terms of momentum swings. You get a big strikeout, you get a big hit, or vice versa. They come up with a big hit or they come up with a big pitch. It's really maintaining the equilibrium throughout the. It's a lot like the streaks. You can't get too far ahead of yourself, and you got to play in the moment. And as long as you play hard, it's part of something that is inherent in your team, and you hopefully is part of your foundation as you go forward.
So here we are in the spring. We're getting towards the second half, or the final third, I guess, of our schedules here. Just think about back to, the challenges of the job for a year ago, or when you first took the job here at GGC. A lot different challenges these days in more of a day-to-day fashion. Just talk about how this whole process has evolved, and I guess I'll start it down with Brad.
It's been a wonderful transition from where we started. Because it's never. In any season, it's never what you expect. You always have a couple of kids that you didn't really expect to play really well. We have a couple of kids right now, Philip Bates, one who's just absolutely on fire with everything. He's doing what he's supposed to do on the field, off the field, and really putting together a great season. He was injured in the fall, and we didn't know what to expect. And so just as you kind of go throughout the course of your season, you grow, your team grows, and so your expectations leading forward are what they were to begin with. but I think you can always build upon what it is that you have instilled in your team in the fall, and then you grow on that, and then you really grow into what you're going to do in the fall next year. 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, what's the vision, the long-term vision, and so it's been exciting to see that growth as we continue to go and continue to have the facilities built, and Dr. Wilson and the administration growing the department. I mean, from all aspects of everything that we have going on. So it's been a fun time.
I would certainly capitalize on what Brad's saying, that you go not knowing what to expect to everything you thought was going to happen is a little different. We've dealt with rainouts, we've dealt with ice outs, we've dealt with snow on the field, and weather plays into it, but you still have to play the game. We've gone from high school softball fields to indoor cages to playing a game the next day, and you just continue to stay consistent with the message. We are going to overcome adversity so that we can accomplish the goals that we've laid out and the long-term visions of the program to capitalize on the success that you've built in the biggest amount of adversity you can face, which is, I don't know where I can practice today because we're not quite ready to be at home, but we have a great softball field down the street we can use. There's tons of people supporting our program in the community that have let us go in and hit and pitch and throw when we need to. So you build on those things that if you can be successful right now, when you have a lot more resources, you will be unbelievably successful. And so creating that culture from day one, even in our fall practices, when we were a baseball cage to a softball cage to a baseball field to a softball field, there was never a question from the girls of, we're here to work hard and we're going to get things done.
Sure. Coach Hodges, you've been in a couple of previous institutions, but certainly a new and unique situation here at GGC.
Yeah, very unique. You never get to start a program from the ground up, and this situation has been incredible. Probably the most challenging experience in my coaching career. Especially with the fact that having 2 programs and 0 players from day one, and here we are, almost done with season 1, and we're thinking about preparing for season 2. With this being our first season, really sort of to touch on what Kat and Brad said, it's about building a winning culture, and that's sort of what we've done. And I feel like we got a lot of pieces already in place for both teams for success, and our goal is to be the model NAIA program, and I feel like all the sports programs are on our way to doing that, so it's a lot of excitement.
So for baseball and softball, you guys, first-year coaches, what are some of the philosophies that you've really seen, that you've tried to implement in your programs that you've really liked about where you've seen other places, or what you've just really wanted to instill in your players?
Sure. I think a great foundation to a program is character-driven, meaning people who understand the philosophies of what you do off the field translates on the field. And just because you're doing great things on the field doesn't mean you get to put that uniform away and become a different person off the field. And through, our team has characterized that as their number one. When I look at them in the classroom, they're always wearing GGC softball stuff, and their professors know what they're doing on the field and how hard they're working out there. And then they come back in the classroom, and they're doing a great job in the classroom with their grades and making sure, even if we miss, they're getting things done to say, okay, professor, I did this ahead of time because I know I'm not going to be here Tuesday night because of my games. So that's my number one thing, is getting in and having players who understand character. And the greatest coaches who are the most successful have character-driven athletes. I'm fortunate to have worked around the Alabama softball staff. They won their first national championship last year at the University of Alabama. And those coaches taught me very early in my coaching career, if you get the right people in who understand a student athlete, being in the community, giving back to the fans who appreciate your skills, then your talent will elevate as well. And it's proven over their 15 years of success at the ultimate level in Division I.
So that would lead me to my final question here. I guess we just had another great signing this morning, I think, for your program coming in next year. So when you look at the athletes that you're recruiting, the student athletes, what are the most important things that you're looking for, that you're looking, sort of leads into this final point about the most important things that you want to see when you're out there on the field?
Sure, and I think Kat really hit the nail on the head for a lot of us, just who you are as a person. For above and beyond everything else, if you're a good person with good character, you can play baseball. There's a lot of kids out there that can play baseball, but do you have a 2.5 or do you have a 3.5 GPA? What is your motivation after college? What are you going to come to GGC and do? Are you going to help us win championships, build championships, or are you here for other selfish reasons? And really, at the end of the day, I think that we have a unique unique opportunity to be able to recruit kids that want to be here, that are going to be able to be the highest level caliber players on the field, and you put those two together with a character-driven athlete, both academically and athletically, you're going to come up with a great kid. So I think we have a great opportunity to recruit those type of kids that are going to help us win championships and continue to build the foundation of what GGC athletics is going to be all about.
Coach Hodges.
Well, just to touch on both those, we're looking for kids that are going to be good ambassadors for the university, kids that are going to represent the tennis program and the athletic program in a positive manner. We're trying to get out in the community and do as many things as we can. Kids that just want to get out and support others. I really stress to my teams about going out and supporting the softball team, going out and supporting the baseball team. Really, we're all in this together, and kids that understand that this is bigger than themselves, and those are the type of kids that we're looking at bringing in, and obviously the kids that are going to put the academics before the athletics. They're a student athlete first, and at the end of the day, the winning will come and the championships will come, but there's a lot more important things that they need to address, and we'll make sure they do that.
So finally here, before we wrap it up, let's just touch quickly on the week ahead, if you will, for your program. What's in store?
Yeah, we're hosting Milligan. It'll be our first collegiate night match, 6 o'clock match. We got the men and women playing. The women's team is top 25 in the country at Milligan, so it should be a good test for our women. The men, obviously, we're looking to continue our streak, and the guys are extremely confident, so everybody, if they can make it out to a night match, should be fun under the lights at the GGC tennis facility, and that's really all we got this week.
Coach Kat, I know you guys played last night, and you get back in action on Tuesday.
We do. We're going to have a little break for Easter, let everyone get a little downtime and see their families, and then we'll come back, play Tuesday, Thursday, have a little break, go back Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So we have a lot of games coming up. We're on the road a lot, and so, again, another test for our young culture. How do you deal with traveling a lot and still balancing the academics? But looking for some good road victories. I think we would do a nice job if we all come together like we've been.
Coach Trommel, I think we're about to hit BP here in a couple hours. Right now, we got a game today.
We got 2 games today versus Tacoma Falls. We go to Emmanuel tomorrow, and then we have a doubleheader on Friday versus Emmanuel back here at our place. And then that next week is actually a tough week for us too. We play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a tough opponent in Southern Poly on Monday, doubleheader over there. So
no rest for the weary. Thanks, guys. We enjoyed it today. Look forward to doing it again very soon. And best of luck. It's been a pleasure covering the team and all the teams, and the great success on the field certainly makes it easier to do just that. So we appreciate your time, and best of luck.
Thanks, Nancy.
Grizzly fans, thanks for joining us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Until next time, go Grizzlies.